Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Good morning. Welcome on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. The sun is shining here at the lighthouse, and the birds are chirping, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful morning. So, welcome. Today's workshop is about the self. That will be the topic that we cover today. And we will be doing a meditation known as Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. We will also be taking energy, or what we call Diksha, from the Great Compassionate Light, which is this image of a light adjacent to me. So let's begin by looking into the light, looking into this great compassionate light. As you look into the light, take 7 deep breaths and ask this light to come and enter into your heart. Ask this light to come and spread throughout your body and fill all of the cells of your body. Breathe in that light into your heart and ask the great compassionate light to fully and completely awaken in your heart. To fill your heart with love and compassion. To fill your heart with the presence of the divine. Visualize this great compassionate light flowing over the entire globe, and ask the divine to raise the consciousness, shift the consciousness of everywhere, everyone across the globe. See this light completely encompassing the earth. Visualize a golden liquid encompassing the entire earth. Now visualize all of your family members and ask the great compassionate light to enter into their hearts, to fill them completely with this golden energy and golden light. Ask the great compassionate light to completely heal their hearts of any hurt, any pain, or any sadness they may be carrying in their heart. Now, ask the great compassionate light to deepen their awareness, to fill your family members and friends with deep awareness. Ask the great compassionate light to shift the consciousness of all Golden Age members to deepen their consciousness with deep awareness. Visualize a large golden blanket of golden light flowing over this entire country, raising the awareness and consciousness of all of its people. You can now place your right hand on your heart and ask the great compassionate light to give you deep awareness, to give you deep clarity in your life, ask the presence of the divine to come and fill you completely. See the presence of the divine entering into your heart and spreading through all the cells in your body, becoming one with you. You can now gently open your eyes. We're going to do a meditation this morning called Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, followed by our topic. Our topic today is about the self. Nadi Shodhana Pranayama is a very simple meditation you simply place 2 fingers at your third eye, and you use your ring finger to obstruct breathing on one side of your nostril. And you inhale from the open nostril. So it looks like this. Then you exhale from the opposite side, covering the side of the nostril in which you inhaled from. Then, after you've exhaled, you inhale through the side in which you just exhaled. So inhale through one side and exhale through the other. Then inhale through that same side and exhale through the other. It's an alternate breathing technique. This meditation, Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, is used to balance the right and left hemispheres of your brain. It's very, very powerful. Very simple, but very powerful. It actually brings oxygen directly to the left and right side of your brain. It should be performed or practiced in the morning best. And if you do this meditation every morning, your level of awareness will shift, your energy will increase, and you will have increased clarity and focus. So let's begin. You can relax your hands. Again, inhale. You can relax your hands. Keep your eyes closed and keep your awareness on your breathing. You can now gently open your eyes. So welcome to the Lighthouse. So today's topic is self, the self, self-realization. Many books and teachers speak about this great self-realization. But self-realization is actually something that has many different layers, but is quite simplistic in many ways. The first layer, or the first step, is to understand what is the self. We've spoken about in the past how growing up we all have conditioning. We all have a set of ideas that we've accumulated throughout our life. These ideas have come from many different places. Conditioning comes from our home, family conditioning, our society, societal conditioning, our culture and religion, cultural and religious conditioning. We also learn in school. We're conditioned by our teachers and our colleagues and our friends. See, everything we learn in our life, every idea that we've ever had, is a conditioning. For example, to wake up in the morning and brush your teeth and shower is a conditioning. See, we're not saying that conditioning is good or bad. We're not labeling it as good or bad. But rather, we're saying you need to see these ideas, see these conditionings. It's so important that you see these conditionings and ideas because they are what is guiding you in your life. They are creating your life in many different ways. See, based on our thinking, our thoughts, our emotions, we are creating our reality. And each one of us are carrying a different set of thoughts and ideas and conditioning. But these thoughts and ideas are not yours. They have not come from you. They have come from many different places. They have been accumulated from many different places in our life. So they're not yours. They do not belong to you. They are not who you are. Although we've spent our entire life identifying with these ideas and these conditionings. We tend to idea with them and we tend to identify with them. And because of this, we feel that they are our identity. As we identify with these different thoughts and ideas, we start to believe that this is our identity. This is who we are. For example, I am a mother, I am a father, I am a teacher, I am a police officer. I am the governor, I am the mayor, I am the president. I am a nurse, I am a doctor, I am an engineer, I am a healer. We're identifying with all of these thoughts, all of these ideas. And these ideas that we identify with us, or we identify to, we start to believe is our identity. We start to attach ourselves to these ideas so strongly, we start to form an identity, an idea of who and what we are. A concept of who and what we are. But it is actually an illusion. It's not true. It's not true that you are your thoughts and ideas. Because these thoughts and ideas have existed for millions of years. They did not just begin. They are just simply thoughts that are flowing through you or flowing past you. It is these thoughts that we call the mind. See, there is no your mind or my mind. There is no Claudia's mind. There is no Aditi's mind. There is no Julianne's mind. There is no me's mind. There is just the mind. Which is why it's absolutely ridiculous to think that we could be angry with someone for the way that they think. Because there is no original thought. It is not our thought. We're trying to take ownership for something that is not ours. It doesn't belong to us. It simply exists in the thought sphere. It is simply a part of human consciousness. We are all sharing from that human consciousness, so we are all experiencing the same thoughts and the same human emotions as the human consciousness. Which is why we all experience the same hurt, anger, fear, frustration, anxiety. It's not specific to each one of us. Every single human being on the planet is experiencing this human consciousness. That is why we are not separate. We are all the same. Because we're all experiencing the same human consciousness, the same pool of consciousness, the same ocean that is consciousness is flowing through each and every one of us. It's flowing through Claudia, it's flowing through Julianne, it's flowing through Gail, it's flowing through me, it's flowing through Aditi. We are not different. We are not separate from one another. We do not have unique thoughts or unique emotions. We're all experiencing the same emotions. The same thoughts are flowing throughout the thought sphere and human consciousness. Yet still we identify with these thoughts as our own. We identify with this identity saying this is Aditi. But if you think about it, what really makes up our identity? If you look at it very carefully, you'll see that every thread that you believe that's woven to create this blanket that is your identity can be pulled out, can be unraveled. You think that you are your thoughts, but the thoughts are actually the thoughts in the thought sphere. We're all experiencing the same thoughts throughout human consciousness. You think that your emotions are different or separate from another, but it's not true. All of mankind, all of human consciousness are experiencing these emotions: hurt, anger, fear. So if you're not your thoughts and you are not your emotions, you are not your ideas, And this body is loaned to you. This body does not belong to you. You're borrowing it. And then when you die, the lease is up. It goes. Then who or what are you? What is this self? You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're not your body. Then some people will say, well, I am my mind. I am of my own mind. But what is your mind? What is this mind people speak of? Show it to me. Show me what is this mind. If you look carefully, you'll see there is no such thing as the mind. There's simply thoughts flowing through this body. The brain is interpreting these thoughts. And based on your individual conditioning, you're either reacting to the thoughts or you're not reacting to the thoughts. Based on your experiences in your life, you're either reacting to the thoughts or you're not reacting to the thoughts. Based on your level of consciousness, you're either reacting to the thoughts or you're not reacting to the thoughts. You are simply a human body and the thoughts are flowing through you. So then why are we suffering over these thoughts? Why is there human suffering? There is human suffering because you are identifying with these thoughts. You're holding on to these thoughts, holding on to these ideas, holding on to these conditionings and saying they're mine. They belong to me. I am a person. I am an individual. I am a deity and these thoughts belong to me. I am a mother. I am a doctor. I am a father. I am a teacher. I am an engineer. I am a police officer. I am this. So many people's psyche is broken when they can no longer identify. They feel like they no longer have an identity. Their identity is shattered. They're no longer wealthy. They no longer have their profession. They feel like they need to have an identity. If they're losing their identity, they start to lose their grip. But actually, there is no such identity. We're all searching for this identity, to identify with something somewhere, to say, I am this. But such a thing does not exist. And it's because we're doing this, we think that because we have an identity, this makes us strong, this makes us real, this makes us powerful, this makes us unique. But actually, it is actually the root and the core of human suffering. It is this identity, it is this separation that you see. It is this separation, this illusion of separation, that actually is the core of man's suffering. If you could see that you are not separate from one another, that you are simply all just human consciousness, your consciousness, your existence, consciousness, and bliss flowing through this body, with no identity, but rather you're just thoughts. In that state of awareness, in that state of consciousness, they would no longer be suffering. You would realize that your life is just a happening. It is just a flow of experiences. Experiences that are arising and ceasing. An occurrence of experiences. That is what you are. But because we're constantly holding on to these experiences, we're not able to let go of the past experiences. We're constantly in fear of the future experiences or trying to control the future experiences. We're not able to accept things and let them just flow into our life or flow through us. That is why we experience suffering. It is our resistance to life, our resistance to experiences that actually causes us to suffer. Every event in your life has happened for a reason. It is given you an opportunity to do something you needed to do, experience something you needed to experience, learn something that you needed to learn. The question is, were you able to receive that experience? So then what is this self? What is this thing they call the Atma? If your thoughts are not yours, if there's no such thing as the mind, if you are not your body, because your body actually moves by itself. If you were to do an exercise, there's a sadhana, an exercise, where you try to control every movement of your body, you'd see that it would be very difficult because your body is actually moving based on direction from your brain, which is coming much faster than you can even think about it. So then what is this identity? What is this self? Self is an illusion. It is the feeling of I that you feel because you're experiencing a continuity of the experiences in your life. Because there is residue of the experiences in your life, you've attached yourself to these past experiences. There's a charge left over inside of you, so you identify with those experiences. Those experiences were not able to simply come and go and flow through you. Because of this, you identify with those experiences and you say, I am there. This is who I am. You say, I feel hurt. I was disrespected. I do not like this. I do not want this. I want this. I love this. I hate this. And then when anything goes against your strong feelings of who you are, or threaten this identity, you go into a deep suffering. You either become angry or frustrated or move into fear. For example, if you're in a relationship and you tell the person, I don't want you to do this, this, and this, and they do it anyway, what happens? You feel hurt. You feel disrespected. You feel so much anger and pain. That is the self, or what people refer to as the self. It is the feeling that you are there. If you can see this when it's happening, if you're in a deep state of awareness, a higher state of consciousness, and you're able to see this and watch this, if you can see the thoughts that are passing through you and not become entangled in them, identify with them, these experiences will simply come and go. That is our natural state. Our natural state is a state of consciousness and awareness whereby we're not involved in each and every thought that passes through us, each and every experience trying to hold on to it, whether it's good or bad, pleasurable or unpleasurable, whether we liked it or we didn't like it. Anytime you think something or you feel something and starts with I, that is the self. That is your identity. And if you look carefully, you'll see that it is the source, it is the core of all of man's suffering, all of man's pain. I was disrespected. I desire this and I didn't get it. I do not feel fulfilled. I feel unloved. I am not getting what I want. I refuse to be dominated. Don't tell me what to do. I do not want anyone to tell me what to do. I do not want to be suppressed. But in actuality, no one can do anything to you. Now, again, we're talking about the internal world. We're talking about the spiritual world. We're not talking about the external world. Of course, externally, somebody can slap you or hit you. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about external actions. There's the functional world and there's the inner world. So someone asked the question, if there's no individual identity, then who is accountable for the actions a person does? See, again, you're understanding this from your level of consciousness. We're all seeing this through our limited state of awareness. Our awareness is telling us that I am this physical body and I am every physical and functional action. See, externally in the functional world, you have to take actions. If you don't wake up and go to work and brush your teeth, then you won't be able to live. You have to sleep. You have to eat. You have to do the things that the functional world requires. If there are laws in your state, you have to follow them. This is the usefulness of conditioning. Conditioning, the purpose of conditioning is so that there's order in society. Otherwise, there's chaos. We're not saying that conditioning is good or bad. Yes, we're saying there is no such thing as good or bad, but we're also not saying that conditioning is good or bad. We're saying each and every person has a different conditioning. And yes, of course, we're accountable for what we do. If you hurt someone, you'll go to jail. If you rob the place, you'll be arrested. And yes, there's individual karma. If two people are in a relationship and someone says or does something and the other person feels hurt, you have to experience that hurt. But see, this is where it becomes tricky, because we start to think, well, I must be here because I feel hurt. I feel sadness. I feel anger. So we're so sure that we are there because we're identifying with these emotions. But if we were in a state of awareness and a state of consciousness where there's enough energy, where you're just experiencing these things, they would just come and go. They would not stay with you. The problem is, because we do not have enough energy, because we are in a low state of awareness, a lower state of consciousness, we are not able to just experience things and allow the experience to come and go. We become stuck in it. We become trapped in it. We become angry and we're not able to come out of it. We're not able to come out of the hurt. Some people carry their hurt and their anger throughout their entire life. I once met a man who had been searching his entire life, 60 years, for enlightenment, for mukti. He came here many years ago. He had been living as a sannyasi for many, many years. See, when you hold on to anything, even the desire for enlightenment, the desire for mukti, that is the self. Anything that starts with I is the self. I want this. The very fact that there is a person asking for something or questioning something, that is the self. People think that if I want enlightenment, if I contemplate, I will become enlightened. But enlightenment is actually an occurrence where you realize or you experience rather, this, the dissolution of this idea of the self. It is the permanent dissolution of the idea of the self, because that is what it is. It's an idea. If you want to learn more about the self, you can attend the Golden Age 3-day retreat with the monk Tejasa Dasaji. She shares the teachings of our teacher, Sri Amma and Bhagwan, where they go deep into the teachings of the self and give you these experiences. All of what I shared with you today are things of which I have experienced. See, as your awareness increases, thoughts start to flow through you very, very slowly. So slow that the mind can become very silent and there can be no thoughts. Thoughts are simply an energy, and if you're in that state of awareness, that state of consciousness where you can see it, you'll actually experience the thoughts slowly coming and flowing through you as an energy. You'll be able to see the thoughts slowly forming into a sentence and being interpreted by your mind. What's happening is, because our senses are moving so quickly, we feel that we are there. It's an illusion because of the way your brain is operating. Enlightenment is actually a change in your brain where you no longer experience life through this illusion of the self. How do I know this? I experienced this. Your senses slow down and they become disconnected from one another. See, right now, your senses are moving so quickly, it feels like you're hearing, you're seeing, you're tasting, you're touching all at the same time. But actually, each sense is an end in itself. It's an experience in and of itself. It's because you're moving so quickly internally that you have this illusion of this person. I'll give you an example. If you've ever seen a sign with neon lights, it appears that there's a sign with words and letters, but actually it is many different light bulbs that are moving so quickly that it appears that there's letters, words appearing at one time. But actually they're going so fast that it appears that there's something there that's not. Part of the change in the brain that takes place shifts your perception because you're no longer perceiving through the same state of awareness. In this altered state of consciousness, everything slows down. So you're actually experiencing. See, you've never experienced anything in your entire life. And I did not understand this until I experienced it for myself. We have never experienced anything in our entire life. We're moving through life simply existing. We're not living. Because our senses are moving so quickly, because we are in this unawakened state. It's like a paper bag blowing in the wind with no direction. In this state of consciousness, when you see something, it's like you've seen it for the first time. You're experiencing everything. It's like you're experiencing everything for the first time. It's so clear, it's so crisp. There's so much energy, there's so much bliss in that moment. There's nothing else. It's not that you no longer experience human emotions, it's that you're no longer trapped by those human emotions. The emotions come and go. You experience joy, you experience laughter, you experience happiness, you experience anger. All of these things simply come and go. There's no residue. It's because there is not enough energy. That's why you're experiencing this sense of identity, this human suffering. In order for it to change, your brain must change. In order for your brain to change, to have this shift in your brain, there has to be a higher level of awareness. In order for this higher level of awareness to occur, you need more energy. In order to have this more energy, you need grace. You cannot do it on your own. You need the grace of the divine. You need a connection to the divine. It's the divine that gives you this energy. It's the divine that gives you this higher state of awareness, this altered state of consciousness, and this change in your brain. All of these mystical states come from the divine. As your awareness begins to increase, first you'll start to see that you are just consciousness. And that consciousness flowing through this body is what is witnessing what is happening around you. Consciousness that is flowing through this body is what is witnessing what is happening around you. They refer to this as witnessing consciousness. But is this experience of witnessing consciousness is what you experience when there is still a self. Because there is still a person that is witnessing. There is still a sense of duality. There is a consciousness that is witnessing what is happening to you. You're still there. The illusion of self is still there. It's when the senses slow down and you start to experience each experience as an end in itself. That is oneness. That is the dissolution of the self. It starts by being able to simply see the self. As your awareness begins to increase and you start to move into witnessing consciousness fresh, I need to fulfill my desire. I need someone to love me. I need attention. I need wealth. I need to feel important. I am a failure. I am successful. Everything starts with I. All of these things are the self. I am hurt. I feel disrespected. I am embarrassed. I am anxious. The core of all of our unhappiness, the core of human suffering is the illusion of the self. When this illusion is broken, you start to come out of it. You can all close your eyes for a moment. And move your awareness to the center of your forehead, the third eye, or the Agnya chakra. Invoke the presence of your divine, the great compassionate light, or Amen Bhagwan. And ask them to move you into a deep state of awareness, where you can see this illusion of the self, where you can see how this identity, this illusion of an identity is plaguing you in your life. How when anytime you lose anything, you feel like you're a failure. And this identity causes you so much of suffering. This fear of losing your identity. This need to be someone, to be significant. Where you can see that your thoughts are simply thoughts that are flowing through you and they are not your thoughts. That all of these thoughts together make up an illusion of the mind. That your body is simply borrowed. And that this idea, this illusion that you are there, that there is a person that is there, is what is actually causing suffering in your life. Your consciousness. If you have any additional questions, feel free to post them in the chat. So I'd like to tell you about our upcoming events. We have daily meditations and prayers every evening on our WhatsApp chat. If you would like to join our WhatsApp chat group, you can email us. I'll place the email address in the chat. You can visit us online at goldenageny.com and feel free to take a look at any of our other online workshops. There are many different topics posted and classes posted in our channel, youtube.com/goldenageny. We're live here every Saturday at 10 a.m. For updates on other events, you can see our chat. We also have a one-day program that's conducted by Golden Age monk Tejasa Dasaji. It's something you can join every month to increase your state of awareness, shift your energy, and shift your consciousness. You can find information on our website about that. We also have 3-day workshops for people who really want to move into higher states of consciousness and become awakened. These 3-day workshops are for people who also want to teach and share this work with friends, colleagues in the world. You'll be initiated to teach different meditations there. And we also have other various free workshops that are happening nationwide by other teachers. Links are posted in the WhatsApp chat. We also have a Facebook group called Golden Age Movement NY. And you can also find us on Instagram at Golden Age NY. So I hope to see you in one of our upcoming events. Take a moment and close your eyes and move your awareness to your heart and thank the divine for everything that you received today. And ask the divine presence to be with you fully and completely. Not just today, but every day of your life. If you have personal questions, you can email them to us. Our email address is goldenagemovementnewyork@gmail.com. We'll put it here in the chat. If you liked this workshop and you would like to support us, feel free to leave a donation at paypal.me/goldenageny. That's paypal.me/goldenageny. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us for Transformation in Consciousness, Self-Realization. See you next week.